Ferrari's garage is already fracturing under the weight of the 2026 engine revolution, and the two men wearing red are staring down completely opposite futures. Lewis Hamilton walked away from sprint qualifying beaming like a man who just found an extra tenth in his soul. Fourth place, clean, recovered from that FP1 spin at turn 6, the car finally talking back to him the way it did in testing. He called it really pleased, the kind of understated British understatement that hides pure relief after a season 1 nightmare. But Charles Leclerc? 6th, a full half-second vaporized on his final push lap. The Monegasque sat in the media pen with the look of a driver who knows the stopwatch doesn't lie. He left time bleeding on the asphalt, and the frustration is already turning nuclear. But the real mystery is why one Ferrari feels alive while the other feels like it's dragging anchors through Shanghai's long straights. Mercedes isn't just leading. George Russell snatched sprint pole with Kimi Antonelli locking out the front row, 0.289 seconds clear of the field, a gap that screams horsepower dominance under these new power unit regs. The paddock's worst-kept secret, Mercedes' engine map and energy deployment system is extracting 40 to 50 more horsepower in qualifying trim than anyone else right now. Ferrari's SF26, even with the rotating Macarena rear wing making its debut here, is hemorrhaging straight-line speed. That's not setup, that's fundamental architecture. The silent war inside the FIA technical working groups has already begun, teams quietly lobbying to tighten the energy recovery rules before Melbourne's data becomes precedent. Mercedes holds the advantage they fought tooth and nail to protect through 2 winters of lobbying. If they win this regulatory battle and keep their deployment edge locked in, we might be looking at a constructor's title decided before summer break. Yet in the shadows of that Mercedes fortress, an underdog just pulled a tactical masterstroke. Ferrari's decision to unleash the active rear wing, banned last era, now legal again, right here in China was no coincidence. Hamilton confirmed it post-session. The system flexes under load to slash drag on straights while maintaining downforce in the twisty middle sector. Technically brilliant, because Shanghai's 1.2-kilometer back straight punishes drag, and that wing shaves 0.15 to 0.2 seconds alone. It's Ferrari saying, we won't wait for parity, we'll engineer around it. If the wing survives scrutineering and delivers consistent gains, it could flip the power hierarchy overnight, turning Ferrari from chaser into genuine threat. But the tragedy stalks the other side of the garage, Charles Leclerc. The man who should be Ferrari's cornerstone is watching his teammate pull away lap after lap. Half a second lost, not to setup, not to traffic, but to the simple, brutal inability to get the window right on that one lap that matters. Wrong time, wrong place in a sprint weekend where FP1 is your only real practice shot. The house of Maranello falls silent when Leclerc speaks now. How much patience does the Monegasque have left before the whispers turn to demands for answers? He's 0.3 to 0.4 seconds adrift of Hamilton in raw one-lap pace here, and in a team built around legacy, that gap feels existential. The wild card nobody's confirming yet, the FIA's emergency equivalence adjustment clause, buried in the 2026 sporting regs. It's sitting in a drawer in Geneva right now, an unpublished mechanism to cap maximum deployment if one manufacturer pulls more than 35 horsepower after 3 races. Activated, and Mercedes' qualifying monster gets neutered overnight. Ferrari gains breathing room. McLaren and Red Bull get dragged back into the fight. But if the FIA blinks and lets the data ride, Hamilton's optimism becomes prophecy, while Leclerc's frustration becomes permanent. Shanghai is not just a sprint weekend. It is the first real referendum on whether Ferrari's revolution can survive contact with reality. Hamilton's hidden fear that 4th place is his ceiling unless the engineers unlock another 2 tenths before Sunday. Leclerc's secret weapon? Raw qualifying instinct that could still produce a miracle lap if the car finally cooperates. Mercedes' nightmare? One rogue protest over that rear wing turns their dominance into a legality debate. The FIA's quiet terror, intervening too early, kills the spectacle they sold to broadcasters. Will Hamilton convert 4th into sprint points and finally taste champagne in red? Can Leclerc exorcise that half-second ghost before the main qualifying grid locks in? Does the rotating wing survive the weekend or become another expensive footnote? If Mercedes runs away tomorrow, how long before Ferrari's boardroom starts asking uncomfortable questions about the SF26 project? And if the FIA pulls the equivalence trigger mid-season, who really wins the 2026 title, the team with the fastest car or the one with the best lawyers? The answers aren't in the press pen tonight. They're waiting on the Shanghai start line tomorrow morning.